A mindful mama and a hot mess walk into midlife.
One of us meditates,
The other curses under her breath.
Welcome to Namaste and No Way. FAFO, the midlife motto we didn't know we needed. You know what midlife has taught me? People will test you, and that's when you got to hit them with the FAFO.
For those not fluent in TikTok rage or revenge acronyms, that means fuck around and find out.
And honey, people are finding out.
This is Namaste and No Way, where one of us meditates
And the other curses under her breath.
This episode is brought to you by the Little Owl Apothecary. LOA is a family-run business that is passionate about crafting herbal teas that nourish the body and soul. One family took their own journey of researching clean, natural ingredients to be healthier, and it turned into a variety of products safe for you and your family. Little Owl is committed to quality, using only the finest, ethically harvested ingredients, ensuring every cup is a celebration of nature's bounty and healing. Looking for a natural way to help you sleep? The Chill Out Specialty Tea is the perfect blend of lemon balm and raspberry leaf, designed to relax you without the mental fog of other nighttime remedies. Looking for a caffeinated alternative? We have you covered with our Witch's Witch specialty tea. A black Assam tea roasted with cacao shells is a great way to start your day. As a special treat to all our listeners, you'll receive 10% off your orders with code NAMASTE. Check out all of Little Owl Apothecary's blends at thelittleowlapothecary.com. You can also find them on Instagram and Facebook at Little Owl Apothecary.
What does FAFO look like in motherhood?
So I think it can look in a lot of different ways, right? I think there's like that balance between like setting boundaries and being really clear. And then sometimes they just need to make the mistakes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, my kid definitely.
yeah, on their own. But it's that hard balance. Like you want to prioritize their safety. But I do think sometimes we like in these times, like we over parent and we like want to prevent them from making our future mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like my kid, like whenever I tell her no, it's like that's her cue to act up and to push back. It doesn't matter what it is. She just has like an oppositional personality. I don't know if it's the age or what it is, but like I'll be like, can you do this? And she'll be like, no. It's like flat out no. And I'm like, okay, did you want to go upstairs to your room and have a little time to yourself? And she's like, I don't care. I'll do it. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay. It's almost like she's turning it around on me. You know what I mean?
Well, it's almost like she's testing you. Like, how far are you actually going to go?
Yeah.
And is this a request or?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not a request, but like she takes it like that. Absolutely. You know, when you calmly say, don't draw on the walls. I mean, you have a perfect example of that. What happened to your siding?
Yeah. So we had a babysitter and she was great. She was so sweet. The girls loved her. And my younger one also pushes boundaries pretty intensely. So we came home one day and she had painted the side of the house.
Like with real paint.
Like real paint. Well, like paint like that. It didn't come off the house.
It didn't. No. That's why I was wondering. I was like, what happened there?
It is like it is big.
It's big.
My older daughter was like, she told her to stop, but she wouldn't. I was like, well, maybe
like maybe take the brush away.
The brush. It's interesting, right? Because sometimes I think we do like say a request when we're trying to set a boundary. Yes. Like a boundary is like you're going, like the other person doesn't need to do anything. And I think that was a big learning for me because I'd be like, you cannot do that and think it's a boundary, but it's like, no, I am going to take away the paintbrush now.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but like, then I also feel like you're, taking away the choice, I guess, too, which is like a good thing, you know, because if my daughter was left with choices, she would make all the wrong choices. Like literally, like we have a huge snack pantry. You've been to my house. It's huge. And like all the kids love to go in there. So when I tell her like before dinner, like I see her open the thing, I'm like, no, we're about to have dinner. Do not go in that snack cabinet. She literally will go in there and like open a granola bar right in front of me. And I'm like, if you open that granola bar, you're going to have no books tonight. Like, cause we read books at night. She's like, how many books? I'm like, 0. And she'll be like, okay, I put it back while it's already open inside the container. Like, I'm like, no, now you have to take it out and put it on the counter for later because we're not putting in a half open granola bar back in the pantry.
I know. I think sometimes we forget that a lot of times they just don't have the skills, right? Like they have all the big feelings.
Yeah.
Like I've read that recently, like kids are born with like tons of big feelings, but like they have no skills to manage them.
Yes.
But I think sometimes we do forget that. And there is a balance. Like, do you just let them?
No, you can't.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I have to physically stop her because she will not stop.
Totally. And if it's a safety issue.
And it's not a safety issue sometimes. Sometimes it's like literally like a battle of the wills almost. And I'm like, you're not going to win this. Like, you're not. Like, it's testing me and you're not going to win. And it's like, maybe it's my will, like wanting to be stronger than hers, but also I am not going to have her disrespect me like that. Like, it's a no for me. And that's the biggest like problem I think that we're running into at her 7-year-old age is her testing my patience. And she does it on purpose.
I think it's like, I think we can think about it in different ways. And I think also the way that we were parented at that age has a really big impact.
Yes.
Because 100%. I think when I think like that, no one wins.
Yes, you're right.
In the situation, right? Like I do. Sometimes I also will I'm like, I am not letting this go.
Right.
And every time it's a disaster because it's not about the thing anymore. It's about winning or being, it's like when I fight with my husband and I'm like, I don't even know what we're fighting about anymore, but now I'm determined to be right.
Right. Yeah. I get that.
But then I'm like, what are we modeling to them in that? Like, right. So are we just modeling to them what we don't want them to be doing?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I'm working on it too, right? I'm working on my will to win or battle her. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's always a constant struggle, like a power struggle with her. She's always trying to like be in control of everything, which I also am a control freak. So like, it just doesn't work. And I do notice some parallels in my parenting with my daughter, and like, it'll put me back as like a child with my own mother. And I never wanted to repeat that, you know, because my mom was so into like being right and being controlling and being like, you're not going to disrespect me. Like, it just wasn't allowed. And like, it didn't really work for me because I was like, oh yeah, like, go ahead, chase me around with the wooden spoon. Like, I'll hide them, you know, like it just didn't work. So I know that this doesn't work. So I'm trying to, you know, work on modeling different behavior, but it's a really tough struggle.
It totally is. And I think sometimes too, we get caught, like, what is, like, cause like you were saying, like when you were a kid, you weren't like, I'm going to disrespect her. Like that was not your motivation. It's like,
I just didn't want to do what she asked me to do.
You don't want to do, but like you felt like you didn't have enough freedom.
Yeah. I didn't have enough control.
Or like choice. Yeah. So I think if we can remember that, but you're right. In the moment, like sometimes you're just doing the best you can.
Yep. And then you reach a point where you're like, you know, almost like passive aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you want peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, look, I think we can be kind and firm.
Yes.
Without like, sometimes I think like we feel like it has to be aggressive, or for me, like sometimes I'll be like, I'm patient. And now I am yelling.
Right. Like, I mean, I yell all the time. Like, I feel like it doesn't matter where we are. Like, if she's pushing my buttons and I need her to stop, like, I have no problem being like, cut the crap, like, cut it out. Like, or we're going to have a big problem. Like, you're going to have a huge consequence. And I try to use consequences. Like, so say like this weekend we were in Western Mass and I was like, if you don't knock it off with this behavior, like, you're not going to be able to go swimming in the pool. And that was like a really good bargaining tool. But my thought is, what's going to happen when these aren't bargaining tools anymore? Like, it doesn't matter that she can't go swimming, or it doesn't matter that she can't have a book. Like, I don't know how I'm going to bargain with her.
Well, I think,
and I think that's where my mom lost, because she lost her bargaining.
Well, and I think, like we think about it differently, right? And that, like, I don't necessarily, I believe in natural consequences. Mm-hmm. Today, Bex got our dog all riled up. Mm-hmm. She's like, go crazy. And he went super crazy and he scratched her. And like, I was super empathetic about like the pain she was in. And we talked about how when we do certain behaviors,
Right.
there are consequences,
Right.
and like we can make different choices.
Right.
And I think in those situations, like consequences do like kind of work themselves out.
It's sort of like fuck
But
around
like
and you find
when
out.
fuck around. But when that was in a perfect example.
Yes, perfect example.
Like when we artificially make consequences that I think that what you're saying is like that aren't really related.
Yes.
And like sometimes they really are just super dysregulated.
Right.
So they're not choosing.
Right.
Like when I'm yelling at them, I'm not choosing to yell at them.
Yeah, no.
I've just lost it and
I
I'm
lost
no
control.
longer
Yeah.
regulated. I've lost control. So I think like figuring out a way to like really build connection can be.
The connection part is so important. And I'm working on this with my daughter. I read something recently and it talked about dysregulated or hyperactive kids. They actually choose to fight with their parents because it elicits a dopamine response. So their body actually, or their brain will produce more dopamine when they're in that state. So they do it so that they feel better because they're dysregulated. So when I read that, I was like, that tracked so much because like I used to fight with my mom like constantly. Maybe it made me feel better.
I think, I think like if you can remember that, like we're always trying to like do what's best for us, even if it like,
even if it
like,
hurts
logically
you,
makes sense.
doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I read that, I was like, oh wow, that hit home. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I can feel that response when I would be fighting with my mom. It was almost like an adrenaline rush. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And it may have made me feel better in the moment, but it was terrible for our relationship. So that's why I feel like I'm, trying to use different techniques or methods to deal with my daughter's behavior. You know, and maybe I do need to give her more freedom. I don't want to be a helicopter mom, but I also don't want to be completely detached and let her run rampant like a brat,
Yeah, I think be like mindful FAFO.
Yes.
Like
mindful.
it is a thing.
Yes.
And I think it's just being really conscious of the boundaries you are setting, the reason you're setting them.
Yes.
Right. And respecting your own energy.
Yeah. I mean, I respect my energy so much. Like I'm like napping all the time. I try to preserve whenever I can, if I have time to do it just to like, so I can be at my best. But like, who has time to like rest? Honestly, I'll nap when I can, but it's like, it's 10 minutes, it's 15 minutes. And what are you actually getting accomplished in 10 minutes?
Sometimes the 10 minutes is the best you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And I think sometimes the best move is just like getting some silence, or sometimes you just need to walk away.
Yeah. I mean, even with your spouse too, I feel like this also applies because when you're, with your spouse all the time and they kind of push buttons too sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
And then your toddler or your child is watching you the way you're acting with your spouse and they learn all of that behavior. So,
and it almost is a way to connect, a dysfunctional way.
Yes.
But like you are interacting with the person.
Right.
Like it's meeting some need, for sure. And I think too, another part is like being like okay with being uncomfortable.
Yes. I hate that feeling.
Same. I really hate it too. But I think we have to teach our kids to be able to handle frustration. And like when things don't work out, they do build skills in those moments.
Yeah. I feel like you told me about some story about a jellyfish and your brother that we were supposed to touch on. And
oh yeah.
So basically the jellyfish, I was like, oh, there was a jellyfish on the beach.
Yes.
And you were like, oh yeah. You're not supposed to touch it because it could sting you. And I was like, oh, well then someone could pee in your leg or something.
Yeah,
and you're like, that doesn't work.
It is untrue. And then we Googled it to confirm that is in fact untrue.
Not true at all.
Do not pee on it if that happens to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yep.
Because it actually makes it worse. Because we did Google it.
It's acidic.
It's acidic, yeah. So don't do that. So definitely don't do that. And remember, you're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to let people fuck around and find out all the way to their wisdom. And don't test you. Don't test yourself. Don't test us. Right? Is that what we're going to say to them?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all for today on Namaste and No Way. Thanks for joining us today. We know your time is valuable and probably interrupted, so we're grateful to be a part of your chaos.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.
Leave us a review if you loved it. Or even if you didn't. We can take it. We've survived toddler tantrums.
Barely. Namaste, bitches.